Welcome to the second video about old Frame Highlander on the profile here, on the channel here. If you want to know more about what the format is about and the point system and all, I would recommend you checking out the start of the last video where I go over it. But now into the decks here. First up is my deck here. It's a red and green Panzer deck, which is land destruction, and this deck relies on a ton of it, and along with it there is a lot of mana rocks and acceleration, so I can power out some game-ending threats in Magnivore, Terravore, and so on. That's the plan at least, but usually I've seen that the deck also is nice at beating down with the mana dogs and the elephant tokens and so on. Quite simple and enjoyable to play, and in a deck where there's a lot of variance, it's not that oppressive, but it can be. Next up is a deck that I'm having trouble naming this, but it looks like a 5-color control pile with a ton of tax pieces in it. You can see Rising Waters, Winter Orb, and you have Mistress Helix, Ensnaring Bridge, and so on. The main thing I'm concerned with is it has the answers to all of my stuff, but will it be enough? I'm not sure. And it also plays a ton of lands. I need to be able to destroy the tabernacle. It will definitely kill me down at the bottom there with the blank piece of paper. It says the tabernacle at Pentrel Vale. And Tolarian Academy is also something to be afraid of here with that amount of artifacts. Very nice to see such a beautiful deck here. This is totally blinged out with a ton of signatures. Not on all the cards, but most of the cards for sure. This must have taken ages to complete, and surely is part of a huge collection. Going into game one here with a sped up gameplay, we see a turn 1 zone out from me on the bottom here, and a turn 1 candelabra on top. Yeah, since I play Premodern mostly, I just wanted him to read it out because there's a glare, so I cannot see it. And a turn 2 Sylvan, quite strong start with this deck. There are a few ways to draw in green and red and colors, of course, and this is one of the better ones. This isn't Commander though, so I only have 20 life, so I can't use it that aggressively. But against this deck, where I see blue and artifact mana and a candelabra, I think I need to be setting up for a fast and aggressive win here. Yeah, taking an extra card here, going down to 16 already. And we play a Call of the Herd here. And this, I still love this token here. Great memories from a great trip to Prague. This was one of the handout tokens from the event, and definitely one that I will be keeping. I have 3 of these, and I believe a 1/1 Goblin token. They handed out 4 random tokens, and you could get some of the same ones, and you could trade on the day. So I traded for elephants since I played elephants in the event. We see some thinking over there. He has 3 mana to spend, so he needs to spend it wisely. Loses life, crop rotation, yeah. And with the candelabra in play already, we know where this is going. He probably used his points on this Tolarian Academy and the crop rotation. In this format, crop rotation is 1 point, and it's a way to make a second copy of a powerful land that you use 2 points for, which I have discussed in my prior video, where I went over the deck, and I use it as well to find strip mine. I can also find wasteland if strip is already gone, and I can find my Library of Alexandria. Okay, we see some stacks pieces going in play here. Winter Orb, and smokestack, and more artifact mana. So this is looking brutal here. Yeah, I chose to untap a forest, and Sylvan here. So getting a strip is pretty nice. Yeah, so out with that mana. And I have 6 permanent, he has 6 permanent, so it's not an unfair race here with smokestack. And he of course ups it to 1, so now the smokestack is online. Compared to other, yeah, he's just explaining how he stacks the triggers. Of course, he stacks it so that he doesn't need to sacrifice anything, and then he puts a counter on it. And if you've played against smokestack, you just accept that, of course, they choose the triggers that way. Unless they have some sort of graveyard shenanigans that they want to get online. He doesn't, it looks like. So 1, pass down another piece of artifact mana. Chooses to discard or sacrifice the Surin Orb here. And untapping Mountain. Yeah, I need to run this deck back again with some tweaks and changes, but this Sylvan library is going nowhere. It's phenomenal in this matchup, and we see a rampant growth. Speaking of cards that needs to go, there are some better options for 2 mana search library for land put into play cards. 3 visits is one of them. I don't remember the other one, but the ones that say forest, because I can tutor up my my duel here. So that would have been much better for me. But in this situation here, I would still have went for basic, because I think that this smokestack is just going to put the game into a reset, sort of, but a reset where he has less life than me. This sacrificing 2 lands to the smokestack. Yeah, smokestack is in the upkeep and Sylvan is in the draw phase, so unfortunately I cannot take a peek before choosing what to let go of, but since the Winter Orb is still active, I might as well lose the untapped lands here. Drawing a bonus card, dropping a land, and putting him down to 10. Yeah, looking back, I think this is a correct way of doing it. Okay, fire diamond, and Winter Orb goes. Does he put it to 3? That is the question here. No, he didn't. Swords on a token. That's kind of advantageous when looking at cards here. Cycling a Croson Tusker is nice against a deck that looks very controlly. Being able to draw cards without it being able to be countered is very strong. So that's why I included the Croson Tusker. I don't have any hope for me casting it. It's sort of a late game top deck answer, but other than that, it's a draw spell. Draw 2 cards, where one of them is a basic land, so you ensure your land drops. And that's why the Tusk is so great. If I were in green and black, I would also use it with some recurring nightmare shenanigans, but here it's just a great spell, which cannot be countered. Well, except if you play against Stifle, I guess, but other than that, it cannot be countered or interacted with. Yeah, so the decision here is, do I commit to the board against this smokestack or do I not? I need to get rid of 2 permanents. Getting rid of the land was an easy choice here. Cannot get rid of this library. It's yeah, without it, I would be back to the Stone Ages here without the extra draws and me being able to choose. Here we see one of my not so great tokens, but it's a an ice storm. So I painted some snow on the water here, and getting rid of his duel. He gets rid of 2 cards, and yes, of course, he puts it to 3, so I know where this is going. But I do have 3 permanents to spare here. So if I don't remember if I had any pressure to put on the battlefield, but nonetheless, this is a good position for me and not for him. He has 2 cards in hand, I have 4. Okay, I choose to get rid of the library, which signals very few cards in hand here. Sending back the turn. And now he sends back again. So a little back and forth here. He puts a fetch land into play. Regarding fetch lands, I think I messed up this deck where I could have played several fetches and duels to make sure that I got my colors on the turns I needed them. So I could play other duels than just red and green. But that's for another discussion. I do have some issues with just putting a ton of expensive cards in a deck that I don't own. I have put some tokens in here, like the Mox Emerald and the Duel, but other than that, oh, and the Chaos Orb, of course. Other than that, I mostly just proxy the cards that I don't have that are cheap, and the library, the 2 libraries I do own, and the fetches, of course, and one of the Mox, which is a C, the Ruby, I do have, but yeah, there's something about proxies that is very nice since I can play stuff that I don't own, but there's something in me that strives towards owning the cards I actually play. Okay, he is getting back here from setting the game or resetting the game with his own Sylvan. If it stays too long, it's game over. Playing a tap land, the Oasis here, and sending back the turn again. By the way, if there's anything in the setup of the camera that you want me to change, or if there's a lighting issue or something on my part, the bottom part of the screen, please say so. I would love to be able to make better content, but this webcam thing is difficult. Okay, Hull Breach, a banger of a card in this format where a lot of people play artifact mana, so you always have an artifact, and here I can destroy 2 things for 1 spell, so 2 for 1, destroying some mana, and since my plan is to make him play without mana and the library as well, and with 13 life, I'm not concerned with the scroll. So I must have something in hand that can actually deal with it. But he's at 8 life, 3 mana, Tangle Wire. Okay, speaking of evil cards, yeah, he shows the card he has in hand. Grim Monolith has to tap everything, and it's his turn. Sending back. Yeah, and the nice thing with Tangle Wire here, if you haven't played with it, it's a card that can tap itself, and you can also do like with the smokestack early on. You can stack the triggers how you want them to. So you definitely put the fading counter trigger last, so it happens first, and then it goes to 3 before you have to tap. So you only tap one less permanent than your opponent. Okay, playing out more artifact mana here. Don't know why he didn't curse scroll. He must have something else going on. If he didn't curse scroll in his upkeep to try at least to hinder my lava man from going off. Cycling, finding a land here, not just any land, but here now it's a good thing that I didn't put it out at first because I did have the colored mana early on. Now I do have the option to lava man in response to him curse scrolling it. Yeah. Removing 2 cards, making sure I don't remove the sorceries and the lands, and pinging him for 2. And it goes. And now it's just Tangle Wire tapping itself. Counting my mana, 4 mana here. He's at 6, I'm at 11. 5 mana. Using 4 of those to flashback. Nice. Yeah, he has trouble dealing with a 3/3 with his scroll, so good threat here. Tapping the charcoal diamond. Oh, and there are multiple hands on his side. His kid wanted to see what was going on, and I respect that. I think it's nice when dads, mostly dads, play Magic. Mothers can do as well, but when you interact with your kid in the meantime while you're playing. Swing for half his life total. 4 mana for Harrow because it cost 1 more to cast because of the sphere here. It's on stack, and that's the problem here. Playing against blue, and I choose to cast a spell for 1 more mana than it's supposed to cost, and in the cost you also sacrifice a land, so counting a Harrow is a pretty good play, I would say. Putting me down to 9 with the scroll in the end step. And that's game. That's game 1. Let's go to game 2 here. Going straight into the second game here. He started with a Plains and I started with a Bloodstained Mire. He plays a Factory and plays a Charcoal Diamond. Choosing here to fetch for my duel as a start, so it signals that I need the colored mana Oh, a chain fell out of the deck here. Shuffling these 100 card decks is ridiculous when you're not used to it. Mad respect to the Commander players out there, because I can't do this as easily as I used to with 60 cards. It is difficult. Shuffling here with some trouble, playing a tome. This tome I can show it here, but you pay 2 to basically cycle, but you draw first and then you choose to discard. You don't have to discard first, which is huge. So you're not gambling on you drawing something better. If you draw something worse, you can just discard that. Tomb is a card that I don't know why it doesn't have any points in the point system, because it's an auto include in most decks, soul lands in general, but especially this one that it doesn't sacrifice itself when you play another land. Okay, he's ramping out here. Thran Dynamo. I'm taking a peek at his hand. He was confusing this with another bubble, but this one takes a peek at a random card and has a delayed draw trigger. So I draw in his upkeep, and we roll a dice here, and I see a duel. Is that a scrubland? Well, it will probably be played here in a second. Playing down another land and passing the turn. I put a dice on my deck just as a reminder to draw the card. Yeah, now it's in place. I have no more knowledge of cards in his hand. 4 mana. 5 mana. Play something on the board here. A Mishra's Helix, yeah. Well, who is the mana denial deck now? Fetching in his turn for a mountain. I play with different mountains in this deck, and all my forests are the same. Mountain is the land that produces red mana, so it's chaos. So I figured I would put different pieces of mountains in it. This one from Unlimited. Cycling here, drawing into a land. Don't think I need it. Or at least I don't know what I drew into, but I discarded a land. I'm really searching for something here. Discarding another land. Okay, so I probably did this so, or in response to the Helix. Yeah. Brainstorm, a heck of a card. And you can play with all 5 fetches. So you get several ways to fetch here. Whoops. Yeah, my focus on the camera is not that good. When I saw it, I was afraid that it was the whole first round, and or the first game, and luckily it wasn't. So tutor, I cannot pay any mana here, so I can pay 1. It's not enough. But this tutor is a heck of a card when you have Mistress Helix. He could just have tapped down my lands and played it in his other main phase. Don't think that was what he searched for. Winter Orb. Strong. And now he searches. I can only enter 1 land. He chooses to tap, set lands, or the 2 lands I had on tap. Discarding my own Winter Orb here, because this is ridiculous to play Winter Orb against. And playing down an elf. An elf is a nice card here. Probably my only way out, to be honest. Creature lands, or creatures that tap for mana dorks. And he has so much mana. 4 mana for the Helix, 5 mana. Now he has all the colors as well with this Mox Diamond. Yeah, I think we see the writing on the wall here. This is not good. Yeah, Vindicate on the Elf. And I cannot get back from this. Who is the land destruction on land denial deck now? 1-1. Straight into game 3 here. I've sped this last game up a bit more. You'll see later why, but starting off with a nice turn 1 Library of Alexandria. Library cards are nice, and I play several. Super strong start for any deck, but especially this one, since I am hungry for more spells to play and more land drops to make. So this will ensure me until it's gone. If it's gone, it will ensure me 2 draws each turn for the price of being like 1 mana less on the board. But here I play a Rampant Growth, so getting another land drop to nullify that pseudo effect it also has of being a land drop used. Finding a Tiger, the dual of the deck, could have used more. Enemy plays Rising Waters. I'm just making him read it out. You can read it on the screen here, but it's basically a Winter Orb in blue for 4 mana. The issue here is that if he plays Winter Orb as well, or if I do, we get 2 untap 2 lands, which is something I like. I like untapping my lands, and he has a ton of artifact mana, so not a good card for me here. So I need to figure out what my plan is. Choosing to untap Tiger here. I must have something up my sleeve. Power Stone, yeah. So now we both have the same amount of mana. Goes to untap the basic, interesting. And yeah, another reader, a card that I haven't really seen before, but we do see that it's just a mana rock in his colors from Invasion. Invasion, a block of, Invasion block in general was about multicolors, so of course they would have some stones of some sort that could tap for both colors. Going to discard here, discarding a book. Speaking of libraries in this deck, discarding a book, since getting to activate it for 4 mana seems like impossible at this stage. Untapping the library to draw another card here. I do have some flashback spells, and I do have several cheap spells. And here, just putting out something, just hindering me. My discard here might be relevant later in the game. And a strip mine on his basic. Don't know if that was the correct play. You could let me know if you have something to say about that. Yeah, see, this is the problem here. There's a lot of thinking going on with the discarding. I discarded a Helix. We saw that earlier in the second game that this is not a place for me to cast my Helix. He will have the upper hand with all that artifact mana, so it doesn't even matter at this point. Could have been a win con with him having City of Brass, but not a good win con, I would say. Untapping, drawing the extra card and draw for turn here. Putting down a Mox is powerful. Yeah, it's countered. I would say I had countered that as well. I used 2 points in my deck for this Mox, and any 0 mana ramp is super good, especially in this stage with the rising waters in play. Discounting a fireball because I would never get to have X for more than 1 or 2 maybe, and he haven't showed me creatures that are on the board in my main phases, so it's a sorcery speed card. I cannot use this against his factory over there, which will probably get online eventually. Playing a sphere, um, another tax piece. I'm not mad about the taxation here because I think in the long game I might as well win as he can win because I can draw my way into answers here, which is my plan. Discounting a flashback spell here with the elephant is nice. Having that as a backup eventually. And speaking of unfair cards here, we have like a Black Lotus, basically for every turn. If you do play Archie, facts that he does, Mistress Workshop is busted beyond imagination. If you haven't played with it, and especially if you've tried to play it in a format where you can play 4, it's busted, for sure. Should be included in all decks that play at least some artifacts, like this one here. Yeah, we keep going back and forth here. It's this deck really slows down things. He plays his own Surinop here. We saw that as my first play in the first game. So he does have a buffer when it comes to life. He's at 17 plus 8. Now we're just sending turns back and forth here, discarding worst worm I've ever seen in this deck. Goes out when I get my chance to play this deck again. Maze of Ith. I don't have a high number of creatures, but now I need to get 2 creatures online to hinder him just nullifying the attack with this maze here. I think it's a strong card against my deck. Although I can destroy it, of course, with all the land destruction I do have. Okay, now comes the beatdown here. I'm at 18, taking the first plot. And let's see, and actualize here. For the Rising Waters, I get a full-on tap here. This might be good. I don't remember what I played here, but this might be good. There's several options, and I am broadening my options here with another draw. I've drawn so many cards. So what will it be? Counting out my mana, 7 mana, plus the tax over there, so I can play a 6 mana spell, or yeah, what do we see here? A Histrodon. Yeah, I put up the card on the right here because I made a proxy, some kind of monkey card, which I found to be nice to alter with some bananas. But it's just a 3/4 tremble, and whenever it hits, it connects. I get a draw. But it will never connect with him having Mace of it, so it doesn't matter here in this board state at least. But it can block. That's the important part. So he will not be able to attack into this. Brainstorm. Powerful card in some decks, and he can take advantage of it. He plays a lot of fetch lands, so we will probably see him dropping a fetch land. In that way, you are drawing 3 cards because you're putting 2 blanks away mostly. He could put away some mana rocks if you don't need them, but again, tinkering here. Thinking. Okay, it has resolved. Yes, and we do see the fetch here. Bloodstained Mire. And I do admire this deck here. Most of the cards, if not all, are signed. And original printings of many cards, it looks like. Here we have a black bordered volcanic. I can't see if it's in English or if it's collectors of some sort, but it does look very nice. Okay, I'm muting myself here. Don't know why that is. Probably either my son were there or my wife. Impulse from someone's here. Searching for, I don't know, something to remove my creature maybe so he can attack and win here. Question is, will he find something? In a 100-card deck, looking at 4 cards sounds very powerful. Let's see. Yeah, this curse scroll on my side of the battlefield is just a card here. Maybe relevant if he goes for the smokestack. Pillage here. Destroy land or artifacts. He is asking what I want to destroy, thinking I want the sphere gone or the Surinor, but no, the maze. So I can actually try to swing here, and he tapped out his only blocker, so I get to draw here. So another way to fuel my my hunger for card draw in a non-blue deck, a non-black deck. And putting down a morph here for 4 mana. Did I tap 4? Must have tapped 4. No, there it is. I forgot to tap and just reminded him that I will also take a damage from my pain land here. Humility. If you have never seen Humility, it looks simple. It's super not that simple. It has to do with layers, but basically for him, when he animates his factory, it is a 2/2, even though Humility says it's a 1/1. And if you play against, or if you play Humility with Opalescence and stuff, you're bound to get confused. So his creature, he chooses to tap it, though so he needs to tap out because he cannot. Yeah, I would not have tapped out here since it. Yeah, okay, my creatures are only 1/1s now, so they have no abilities. I cannot unmorph or pay the morph cost on the morph creature, and the monkey is just 1/1 with no you draw a card ability. But getting him to 12, so almost half the way there. Me at 15. I've still got the library drawing cards, so I have some outs. Of course I do. I can swarm the table. I can destroy his factory with a land reduction spell, so not that much of a luck, but kind of luck here. If I were here, I don't know what his end game is, since these are closed deck lists when we play. what I imagine it's something combo-ish, but we will see that later on, probably. Tapping some cards, playing out a Sylvan. Need to tap one more mana. I keep forgetting here, but to my excuse, it's behind two other cards, other relevant cards. And he played the tome here, so he can also start to cycle through his deck, destroying a land with Winter's Grasp. And he sacks, of course, in response, because he knows that he has Suriname, something that some players actually forget. Him drawing 4 cards here is strong, but I don't know if it's enough. He needs creatures. He has the creature land over there, but it's 2/1, so it will trade at best. He will not win the race, since I also have 2 power on board, and have the ability to use my my Barbarian Ring on his animated creature if he does choose to animate it. Wasteland, finally. If you know how many cards were drawn with this library, let me know down below, because I cannot imagine it's below 10. And it has definitely been a contributor to winning this game, or getting to, well, I don't know if I don't remember if I won here, but getting so many draws in with one card is crazy good. Here we have the Erratic Portal. It's not good. It's a bad card in a vacuum, but when he plays with Winter Orb and Rising Waters, I get his intentions here, because with his artifact mana, he can play it and eventually remove my board, or just make me suffer in not having any untapped lands. Yeah, and he keeps using City of Brass because he does have a buffer of life with the Suriname. And in the late game, you are almost in an abundance of lands every turn, so it does look alright for him, at least. Okay, now I'm playing a 3 mana 1/1 here. If it weren't for humility, it would be huge. We have tons of lands in our graveyards, fetch lands, and from my land destruction spell and his. So this could be big and has trample. Sadly, it's a 1/1 without a trample even. But I have 3 1/1s here, and he's at 10, so might as well start attacking? Question mark. Okay, untap for me. Sylvan trigger. You can see my hand is out on the left side, so no, no Sylvan cheating. I've heard of stories about that online. Don't cheat. There's nothing on the line here. Makes no sense other than you being, kicked from the community if it ever is shown that you actually cheat. Regrowth, super strong card. Also some that cost points here. Naturalize. So 6 mana to get rid of his. Well, can you guess what I'm trying to target here? He does have some response. So take a guess. What is stopping me from winning here? So he's tapping lands, trying to use the tome, drawing a card. Is it an answer? Is it a counter of some sort? No, but he chooses to discard a land, and yes, the humility that he is touching there is the target. Naturalize still on the stack. Tapping a land, considering using the portal, but I don't see why you would do that. And it's destroyed. So swing with a 3/4 and a massive terrible. Don't know how big it is. Would have loved if I were like counting up my graveyard maybe and asking him to do the same and putting dice on top so I can actually comment here and note to self. But it's huge, is my guess. Okay, so he blocks the beast, the Hystrodon, and taps for blue mana. What is he doing? He is blocking the beast, tapping, 3 mana, snap, good card, on the Terror. Yeah, and then he will just sacrifice it to Suriname here, the land. So there's no combat damage. And he gets 2 life. So he gets to live another day. But now he's at 0 blockers. I have 2 creatures on board with 5 mana in total. He's at 10. Cycling a Tusker here. Again, super strong card. Finding a basic mountain. Shuffling, cutting, drawing from the cycle ability. This was in my second main, so I got to deploy the land. Now what's happening here? He is drawing cards. And I don't care because he's just trying his best to find an answer. Spinning the wheels here. I think I'm considering unmorphing this card. I don't remember what it is. It might be that red beast. Do we get to see? Do I choose to do this? No. Guess it doesn't matter. Swing for 5. And bolting. It goes to 2. The question now becomes, what's my plan here? Playing an elf and the Terror Wall. Just putting on pressure here. And forcing a land to be sacrificed. Because he's at 2, it deals 2, so he needs to sacrifice, and it not, like nullifies the effect, but it's yeah, in this situation it's just a target player sacrifices a land effect, which is nice. I don't need him to play all his stuff now. whatever that could be. But he looks really dead. For 3 mana or Cauldron. Don't think it's relevant. Tolarian Academy for 4/5 a ton. 9 mana. Looking at a card with a tome, discarding a land immediately, probably an excess land from before, and he concedes, shows me that he had infinite mana in hand, nothing to do with it, and that is game. So 2-1 for the red-green Panzer. Yeah, I'm on to the top 8. If you managed to stay this long, please consider subscribing to follow me into the playoffs.